So basically, I was discharged, as you know, on Friday. Um, like I asked to be discharged on Wednesday. I felt that I made progress, and I felt that I would should be out of hospital. I was happy with the way things were, and the medication was working well, and I thought that you guys had helped me enough. So they said, "Great, you can go on Friday." Friday, I leave and I'm discharged. So, and like, it's fine. I freak out a little bit from Friday to Sunday. I keep having like a mild panic attack, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, I hadn't taken my medication for a little while, for a few days whilst I was on the ward. Um, but that was like an accident. I said that to the nurse, and she said, you can, like, you could just take it like the next day. Like, it's not. If you miss weeks of it, it's an issue, but missing 1 day or 2 days is not a thing. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep this super quick. So I come in on Monday because I realized that I have some stuff that I left because I left in a hurry. My dad was outside, and I am told by some members of staff that there's nothing there. It's just all in your head. There's nothing there, and I know for a fact that these things are there, but it's not kind of helpful. So like I go, and then they're like, "Oh, come back tomorrow. Come back this day. Come back whenever." Right? So eventually on Tuesday, I call up one person, Nicola, who's a member of staff, and then she gets my stuff in 5 minutes. So it means that my stuff was there, and that was just fueling my like anxiety because I had such a strong feeling that they all hate me and all this stuff was going on. Following that, I would see members of staff just like in public and in the community, and they would either just be super pleasant or just physically cross the street. And I'm like, it's not really supporting my paranoia because it's easy to like think, I don't know, if you have suspect that um, your doctor is making fun of you, and then suddenly your doctor starts, I don't know, being insulting towards you. It just supports what you think, right? So like that was going on. I was trying not to let like my paranoia get the best of me, but I had the strongest headache in the entire world for like 2 weeks straight. Um, to the point that I gave myself a concussion trying to stimulate the effects of a lobotomy because I was just in such pain. It was just in the front, the prefrontal cortex, and then it moved to like the back. But it was such an intense headache. At this point, I had stopped taking my medication completely because I knew something was going on and I wanted to fix it without just drugging myself. I really wanted to get to the bottom of this. Um, but nothing was resolved. I kept getting worse, and of course I like tried to see you and like we mixed up. There was a day where you did make me an appointment for I think 4 o'clock, and like I was late to it, and then it just messed up, and um, yeah. So then we never really got to see. At so one day when I had the appointment, I show up because remember we said we were going to meet at the reception. I go to reception and I see someone there that I do not want to see. So I literally turn around and I walk all the way back home. On the way home, I see some kids and they're like, I tell them what I've done because we're talking, and then they're like, if you need the therapy, you probably should go. But at this point, I was a bit of a coward, so I'm like, I just don't want to be anxious at all. So I literally went all the way home, stayed in my house, closed the door, which is stupid of me because I should just walk past that person and do something if I need to. Um, but that was it. And like a few days after that, it was just headache after headache. And it decreased a little bit. Weirdly enough, I think that the concussion worked, um, funnily enough. But I didn't come here by myself. I didn't choose to. I wasn't like, do you know what would be fun? Going to hospital. The day I was admitted, I had a show to do. I was pissed off that I was sent to hospital. The reason why I was sent to hospital was because, again, I don't know, for a smart person, I'm really stupid. I took a drug overdose trying to give myself amnesia to forget something that happened at my church. There was this entire situation where this girl accused me of things that I didn't do. I'm not psychotic. I'm not a liar. I'm a Christian. I wouldn't say these things unless they were, true. So she accused me of stuff I didn't do. I said this, came up to her one day and I tried to have a peaceful conversation, and she started screaming at me, talking loudly about things that I have never heard of before, started accusing me of things, and in a way that other people could hear. And I'm thinking, okay, that's super weird. After, when I was in hospital, I received some abusive messages, and there's another guy involved. I messaged him back, and no, my mother actually spoke to him, and she used my real name. That was the real name that this girl then used to call the police to tell them all these things. I was coming towards the police, and I told them it was the other way around, and I showed them the screenshots and everything else. That was the catalyst for wanting to give myself amnesia. Everything I'm saying is verified, and there's so many witnesses. Even the people that hate me can verify this. Like, her mother called me, and they said that I called her, right? She got her friend to send me abusive messages. I can bring them up if you'd want. But I don't care about that. I spent a month here, and I was fine. One of the things I was worried about is what it says in your police record. So Nick, the peer support worker, I asked him to check on that, and he said that he will. He's working on that. A few days before I left, I said, honestly, it's fine, leave it, because I didn't care anymore. I was happy to move on with my life. And yesterday, I get a call in the morning saying that I got a call for harassment from Nick. And it's phrased in the exact same way that this girl did. He said that I'm waiting outside his work for him. That was it. And that I messaged him, which I did message him. Was it wrong to message him? Of course it was. But I 1000% meant what I said. I honestly, for the past 2 weeks of being here, felt just disrespected by everyone here. And I don't want to ever chop it up to it's paranoia. It wasn't. Clearly something was going on. Because, of course, like you said, there's follow-ups, there's psychology, there's whatever. People weren't taking me seriously. And it sucks because then my family don't know what to do. The only thing that really sucks right now, because I woke up this morning and I said to you, I have nothing to say to you because I don't. What can I say? Right? What can I do to fix this? I always think of protocols. What's the easiest way to fix it? There isn't. I can't defend myself from these people. Right? This girl can say whatever she wants to ruin my life, and it's successful. Because that's what's going on here. My OCD is repetitiveness. I live in Netherfield, which is 10-minute walk from here. I was really late, I was watching a cartoon, I'm sorry. But it's a 10-minute walk from here. Before I was admitted, I would walk, I don't need tissues. Honestly, I don't need tissues. I cry all the time. I'm it's fine. But whatever. I walk all the time. That's one of the things. Literally, if you want to check the file, that's one of the things. So I usually go to Costa. If you want to ask any of the baristas in Costa how long they have been seeing me there, they would say literally a year. Literally. Because if I don't like to be at home, I usually like to either be at Costa or at Milton's library, but it's difficult to walk there. So I do usually walk to the hospital all the time. My OCD is repetitiveness. So say if I'm from A to B, I'm at one building and I'm trying to get to the other building. I will start walking. Halfway through my journey, I will feel like I need to start again, so I will walk back and do that. And I will perhaps do that 2 or 3 times. It is painful to watch, right? But if you don't understand what I'm doing, then of course people are going to be confused or have their own ideas. there's a difference between a misunderstanding and a misinterpretation. Because, like, I see you at the shops. For me, as a normal person, I think that's just a guy at the shops. But I could say, oh, clearly he's at the shops because he wants to be a pedophile and pick up kids. I could say that. Other people would believe that. They would be like, okay, he is at the shops. That makes sense. Because I've just applied my own motives onto what you're doing. And that's exactly what is going on here. Again, literally. I needed help. I was suffering. I was genuinely suffering. There were times where I was in A&E. I was walking away from A&E and I was crying. And some members of staff, they just rolled their eyes and walked over and I didn't understand. When I spoke to Ben the other day, you were in a meeting, I spoke to Ben, he spoke to me, and I said, if I was such a terrible patient, if I was the worst human being, I was swearing at people, doing all this stuff, I would deserve this treatment. I would deserve to be treated like a terrible person, but I don't think that's the case. So I wanted to understand why, and I asked them. I came here that day to defend myself. The last thing that I needed, I was like, okay, well, I sent a message. Basically, what I said to Nick was, I hate him more than Hitler hated the Jews, which I don't regret because I did feel that, genuinely. How could I not? I genuinely felt betrayed by him because I believed that he would help me. Right? That's inappropriate. You shouldn't be mean to anyone. I hate being mean at all. I did send another message saying, this is why, and I shouldn't have said that, but it's because I see every member of staff and they're completely unpleasant to me and whatever. He blocked the message after that, so the last thing I asked for Ben was if I can talk to Nick, and then they said that, I don't know what he said. I think he said he's in a meeting at the moment. Perhaps I should, come back later. I went home, I didn't come back, but I was thinking to myself, okay, 4 out of 5 isn't bad. I spoke to people, I let them know what's on my mind. I done a good job of defending myself, but evidently it was bad. Because I did get a call yesterday, and they were saying that, he said that I talked about him to other members of staff, perhaps he was talking about that. I asked for him once. That day when I approached reception and he was leaving, and I walked away, if I was there for him, I would have said his name, or walked towards him. Literally. I wasn't incapable of doing those things before, so why would I suddenly not know how to, if I wanted to talk to someone, I would. So it makes no sense to say that that's my motive. I would have called up and said, hey, every single day, I would have called up and be like, hey, can I speak to this person? I have not. If anything, I've been stalking you, if anything, because I'm always asking to have our psychology. My paranoia, I can't even call it paranoia anymore because it's just real, was that when I asked him to check on the situation, he then checked on it and is now friends with the people at church that did all this stuff to me and lied to me, which is why he believes the stuff they did. Because he is a good person, he wouldn't organically reach that conclusion by himself. If I'm this evil, manipulative person who wants to hurt people, who wants to harass people, why didn't you see that when I was here? When I was here, I was weird at worst, but still not evil.